And welcome to this special edition of TIA Now. We're joined by the now chairman of the board of TIA, Mark Walker. Of course, he's the president of Walker and Associates. And Mark, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Abe. Great to be here.
Let's talk about your priorities as chairman of the board of TIA, and let's talk about that in 2015. There's a number of priorities I know, but I want to start with sharing TIA's value proposition.
Well, TIA has a very important value proposition, and it's time for us to sort of raise the specter and profile of that value. If you look at the base of members that we have, it's spread out over very large, medium-sized, and very small members. And we want to make sure that the value that TIA holds and has to offer is well known across a broad sector. If you look at the folks who are members of the Chamber of Commerce in your local area, businesses who need basic things in order to have their voice heard and their landscape fully developed, TIA provides that for the industry of telecom and enterprise communications. It's a wide range of things that we do, but particular to the technologies that are so sacred and important to us, we need to make sure that we're inviting and bringing in that broader specter of members so that the full value can be realized and leveraged.
Now, another priority of yours in 2015 as chairman is to strengthen the pillars. Now, you're talking about the policy pillars, standards, networking. How so?
Well, if you think about the pillars, you know, it's important that we are developing technology, that our technologies are compatible, that they are ready for use, and that we understand and can leverage the terms and conditions around their use. And the best way to do that is for TIA to be strong in its pillars. Its pillars include technology, standards development, obviously, we've talked about that. Events where people get together and can form a good slate of ideas around what it is that we need to be working on. And then the last, of course, is advocacy in Capitol Hill and across the different agencies. So each of those areas are important for development. TIA has established its presence around those pillars, and so we need to fundamentally build those further than where they are today in order for TIA to be most successful.
Now, I know one of your priorities in 2015 is to develop a strategic plan, and I think that's somewhat of a challenge for an association like this one, because not only do you have to build that strategic plan internally, but you have to build it for the membership base as well. Where's the challenge there?
Strategic planning is a fundamental part of every business. If you take the time to do it, you realize how critically important it is, because you ask yourself the very important questions that it takes to operate. And to know that you're putting your resources in the right and the very best places that they can be applied. So TIA has that opportunity. And as you know, with new leadership in-house, it's a great time for us to kind of reset the bar and decide what it is that we're going to truly focus on, truly put our resources into, and so that the member community, of which I am with TIA, can properly support the staff in moving in that direction, that chosen direction. The development process will include members, it will include staff, and it will include outside consultants enough to make sure we have a facilitated process. But I assure you we have enough horsepower in the room with our member base if we just utilize it properly for that strategic planning process.
Now, one component, I would say a big component of your priority in 2015 as chairman is financial discipline. How big of an importance do you put on that?
Well, we need to be successful, obviously, in the fundamentals, and thankfully TIA is. TIA is in a very healthy position. One of the important criteria that we had for our efforts to sort of reformulate things was to make sure that we start with a sound base, and thankfully we have that. Now where do we go from here? Well, as we mentioned, that strategic planning process is going to ask us the right questions to make sure we're putting our resources where they need to be. We just want to make sure we don't overextend ourselves when we do that, and that when we bring in those resources, they're ones that we can afford and then we'll get a high return on. So it's basically a fundamental thing that you look for in any pillar, any plan that you have that the association needs to consider, and we're going to be careful that we do that well so that we are good custodians of what we have here for our membership.
Well, Mark, I know TIA's membership base and the TIA staff is looking forward to your leadership as chairman of the board, and thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Abe.